Take a look at these two images. The first is a reproduction of a classroom from the 1940s in a small city in Paraná, Brazil. The second is from a brand new school inaugurated in 2023. Can you guess the main difference between these two classrooms? If you thought the decade they belong to, unfortunately, I believe you're right. Between these two realities, the world transformed. New technologies, new values, new ways of being and learning. We have studied the brain, the emotions, and what it really takes to learn. And yet, many classrooms still look and feel just the same. Learning is no longer just about content. It's about the relationship between what we learn, why we learn, and where we learn. Because real learning can happen anywhere, not just inside four traditional walls. Let's look at what research tells us. Article 1, Using Materials Creatively, highlights 3 key strategies: following children's interests, using repurposed materials, and including loose parts for open-ended, sensory-rich play. This reflects a practical viewpoint, what I call the toolbox, a space that uses materials and structure to foster imagination, autonomy, and sensory engagement. Article 2, A Space for All, explores emotional and inclusive environments. It sees spaces not as a background, but as a co-creator of identity and belonging. That's a psychological viewpoint, what I call the toy box, a space shaped by intention, care, emotional safety, and belonging. These two lenses, the practical and psychological, together reinforce what meaningful learning truly needs: resources that support the mind and environments that speaks to the heart. When we shift from a teacher-centered setup to a student-centered experience, we begin with one essential question: how can students see themselves reflected in the learning environment they will learn from? The Reggio Emilia approach, for example, reminds us the environment is not just a background, it's the third teacher. Spaces, when designed with care and curiosity, can invite belonging, wonder, and discovery. They don't need to be perfect, just intentional. If your classroom could speak, would it sound like your students? Would it welcome them to explore, to feel safe, to belong? Maybe it's time we let our learning spaces evolve. Let them breathe, let them inspire, let them teach, and realize that learning is everywhere.